This is ReplicantPhish. Welcome back. Glad you could join me again. The double standard. The double standard. The double standard of being single. As in, is it different for a man to be single than it is for a woman to be single? As in the shaming. Do single men get shamed more than single women? Which of the two is more acceptable? Or are they both in the same category of being single and lonely bastards? Hope you're having a good weekend. I have an article here from psychcentral.com and it has a picture of Jennifer Aniston here and it reads Single Men and Single Women, The Double Standard by Bella DiPaolo. Now I've read a few articles from her before and some things she says I agree with. She does say many things I agree with, but some things I disagree with. But enough waffling, let's begin. Ask if there is a double standard for single men compared to single women, and the first thing many people come up with is the terminology, single men are bachelors. Not bad, sounds like they are free. They can live expensive lives. Indeed, single free, at peace and tranquil. 'Tis beautiful. The world truly becomes your oyster. The world truly is yours. Single women are spinsters. Okay, I don't disagree, but that's shaming. I should stop. Let me stop shaming. Or at one point, old maids. I thought they were going to say something else. Among many other derogatory terms. True, many have tried to reclaim the term spinster. Come on. The way the alphabet community rebranded, I'm not even going to say that word because I'm not sure if I can say that word, so rebranded... Let's say delicate. But it is still a work in progress. Apologies for laughing, I'm trying to be serious, but some things are just... Yeah, let's carry on. In an easy medium, Anna Hesea described another example. We hold unmarried men and women to different standards. Faced with societal pressure to be coupled up, I told my friends I wanted to be George Clooney. Okay, so she wants to be a middle-aged man, okay? If I found someone, great. But I was not going to center my life around finding a mate. I agree, but as a man, you know, you're shamed, you call an incel, you can't get a woman, you can't handle a real strong woman. The saying should be you can't handle a crazy woman, and I'd agree, but seriously. After Clooney divorced his first wife in 1993, he was single for 21 years, widely admired as an eligible bachelor with a successful acting career and interest in activism. Jennifer Aniston... I'm not sure why that's funny. Jennifer Aniston, who was single for 10 years between her first and second marriages, also had a successful acting career and interest in philanthropy. But rather than focus on her professional accomplishments, the media obsessed over her weight, diet, lack of marriage, then possibly falling apart marriage. Oh, that's sad. The press are awful. And whether she was pregnant or simply had a food baby from eating a large meal. God. Food baby, my God. Oh, wonder how many women have food babies nowadays. You can't tell if she's pregnant or she's just... Let's just carry on. I'm trying to be responsible as a content creator. You know, as YouTubers, we're supposed to be responsible and professional. You're right, let's carry on. Finally, in 2016, Aniston issued a response in the Huffington Post. And she goes on to say, this past month in particular has illuminated for me how much we define a woman's value based on her marital or maternal status. The sheer amount of resources being spent right now by press trying to simply uncover whether or not I'm pregnant for the bajillionth time, but who's counting, you know, she says, points to the perpetuation of the notion that women are somehow incomplete, unsuccessful, or unhappy if they're not married with children. In this long, boring news cycle about my personal life, there have been mass shootings, wildfires, major decisions by the Supreme Court, an upcoming election, and any number of more newsworthy issues that journalists could dedicate their resources towards. Here's where I come out on this topic. We are complete with or without a mate, with or without a child. We get to determine our own happily ever after for ourselves. And I agree, Jennifer Aniston. I agree. But obviously being a single woman, seen as a spinster, an old maiden spinster, that no man wants. No, seriously, come on. Obviously the press would have a field day. And also knowing the fact that Brad Pitt left you for Angelina Jolie, obviously, the press will have fun with your relationship status. You're a celebrity. Comes with a job. Annie Hessea's long, thoughtful and carefully researched essay drew from politics, literature, history, demography, and social science, and cited examples from around the world. But Hessea wasn't just making cultural observations. She issued an important call to action, as captured in the title. Until there is equality for single people, there will never be gender equality. Interesting. Ooh. I will leave the article there to make my points. You see, yes, as men, we can boast about being single bachelors, to have our fortresses of solitude, to have the Batmobile, to have the life. Of course, yes. But in this world, single people, both men and women, are shamed. But the thing is, mostly for men, it's the shaming of, you can't get anyone, instead of the shaming of, it's a life choice. You see, obviously many men do suffer in being single because they can't find anyone, but still for men there is a heavy stigma on men for choosing to be single. It comes from men and women, the fact of, you as a man you're supposed to be smashing down this and that many women, or at least having one woman to smash down constantly. What's wrong with you? There's something wrong with you, blah blah. What do? You just crank off all the time, all that nonsense. Even though many single bachelors bust and move, they don't lack getting the physical contact. They just prefer the solitude, the peace, the tranquility, not the nagging, the noise and the headache. Now for women, obviously women get shamed, but I don't believe it's in the same realm as men. Simply because for women, it's not difficult for women to get a man really. It's difficult for them to get the man they want, but it's not difficult for a woman to get a man. And obviously, yes, it's difficult for many women to have a man that would stay would actually stay with them. I mean, she can give him as much passionate sex as possible and as much oral pleasure as possible, but yeah, that doesn't mean he's going to stay. No, he may just enjoy the fun and then leave. So for many women, one could say it's a thing of how many of these single spinster women could actually get a man to stay with them. You see, we know they can get a man, obviously, but can they get him to stay? And how would they convince him to stay? In other words, how could a spinster that may want a man, how could they convince a man to come off his single bachelor perch, his pedestal, where he put himself? How could they convince him to come off that perch to settle for this single spinster? I mean, no offense to Jennifer Aniston. She's getting on, isn't she? She's getting on, Younger women have more options because they're younger women. The older they get, But single men like George Clooney, though he was a fool for getting married again, which I think he's getting divorced right now. You see, for men like George Clooney, they can age gracefully so long as they don't get married, still bang tons of women if they so choose. That's a bachelor, a grown single man. But is a grown single woman a single woman, or is she indeed a spinster? What do you think? Comment below. But for now, focus, observe, remember. The world is yours. Have a nice day.